Peace. This is Wise Words Media back at y'all for another round. And woo! Gee, man, you see it. New York Giants, baby. Wow. What a performance. What a debut by Jaxon Dart. I mean, from the start, Jaxon Dart, he looked the part. I'm talking about there's a certain poise that a quarterback, you can see. A quarterback that knows he belongs, plays like he belongs. You see the poise, the IQ, the ability to read what the defense gives you, and then punish him for it. Like he would, whenever he would see that they were rushing, he'll make them punish. He'll punish them. Boom. He'll throw. Whenever he saw that they were falling back or going into a zone, he'll pick apart the zone or he'll run. Like there was one play where I forgot who it was ran his routes. Then he's calling them. He's like, "Yo, come back." And there was a wide open spot, wide open pocket because of the zone. And boom, got him. First down. So that's the type of IQ, the type of poise you can't teach. You can't give that to somebody who hasn't been under those bright lights, or brighter lights. Because, they all play college and they've been under bright lights. But there's some lights brighter than others. And Jaxon Dart played in the SEC. The SEC has competition that is borderline NFL. So that conference makes you NFL ready. Like there's a type of preparedness that SEC players have because from week to week they're playing teams like that. Any one of them SEC teams can beat like the bottom four of the NFL any given Sunday. That's how much skill you're talking about that exists in the SEC. So going week in and week out playing against those type of players, preparing them for this moment, and you saw the poise, you saw how comfortable he looked, and it was one of those things where you felt, you saw the confidence in him. You felt it. It was radiating. And I feel that when you see a player like that, it breathes new life into a locker room. Look what happened, right? Last week, Malik Neighbors was angry. He was upset. He had Odell Beckham consoling him and Antonio Pierce. When Odell Beckham has to be your source of wisdom, and I'm sorry, I love Odell, but as much of a knucklehead as Odell was, when Odell got to be your big homie and tell you like, listen, man, yo, relax, times are hard. It looked like Leak was 1 foot out the door because Odell had to be like, yo, chill. So for that to happen, him to be that angry, and rightfully so, only 2 targets going into the fourth quarter, first target in the fourth, rightfully so he was angry. But when Jaxon Dart, who his first drive, 89 yards, marched that team up the field and ran it in for his first touchdown. When Jaxon Dart did that, who was the first person that ran up to him and congratulated him? That's right, Malik Neighbors. People buy in when they see a player of this caliber. What happened the very next possession when the Chargers took over the ball and they were on offense? The very next possession, 3 and out, they bothered the Chargers. Why? Because this type of performance breathes new life into the players on the field, the camaraderie in the locker room. Everybody begins to play for one another. Everybody begins to become accountable. They're like, oh, the offense just handled business. So now the defense steps out there, energized and with new intensity. And that is why I personally, still, even with the result, I personally would have kept them sitting down for like a year, because I feel like this new NFL with this instant oatmeal, you draft a quarterback in April, you want him to be a top 15 quarterback come October. That it's just not realistic in every case. But there are some outliers. Case in point, and you see how the universe is always speaking to you, right? Case in point, who was the quarterback that Jaxon Dart was playing against? He was playing against Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert didn't start the beginning of the season. He played the bench and was learning a few weeks up until Tyrod Taylor got hurt with some weird chest puncture or whatever. And once Tyrod Taylor got hurt, then they went to Justin Herbert and he looked the part, you know? So those are rare. And maybe we got a rare one in Jaxon Dart like that. Sometimes, you know, this is not going to be easy. Don't look for the Giants to win a multitude of games because they do have a very tough schedule. They got a couple games against Philly coming up. They got Patrick Surtain and that secondary and that Denver defense. They got some tough games coming up. But what you want to see is this, competitiveness. You want to see them competitive. You want to see them playing me. Can you give me meaningful football around Thanksgiving? Can the Thanksgiving Day game mean something? Like that, that's all I'm asking for. That's always the start. We start there. Just give us competitive football. It looks like we're going to get that. Then next, win some games. Give us some competitive. Make us feel like these games matter. And every game you're looking forward to. And that's all we ask as a fan base. And I think we're going to get that now with Jaxon Dart. But yeah, what a performance. Let's go Giants. And hope they could carry this momentum on to the next game and all the games that follow after that. I'm Waz for Waz Words Media. Peace.